discipline and consistency, man. That's the most important stuff. Discipline and consistency. It will definitely change your trading for any trader out there.
Yeah.
Those are the main two you need to focus on.
Hey, what's up, traders? Welcome to Traders Room SA, talking all things Forex. My name is Lebza and welcome to the channel. If it is your first time here, hit the subscribe button, but if it's not your first time, welcome back to the channel. So a lot of you have been requesting that we have the interview series again, and we are finally back with season 2 of my journey. So in today's episode, I have Marcellino Vallihu, a Durban-based trader, and he has a lot to share about his Forex journey, from how he became a full-time Forex trader and how he got funded by FTMO. He also shares a lot of tips about how to approach the markets and becoming a full-time profitable trader. He's also been mentored by the likes of Q Banks and Sean Lee. So I hope you do enjoy this episode and enjoy. Yo, what's up, guys? So today I have Marcellino Vallihu. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Marcellino Vallihu.
All right. Thank you, man, for coming on to the very first episode of season 2. I'm really excited having you here. And I've been wanting you on an episode because, you're very unique based on what I see on Instagram, and I'm just on it, man.
Thanks, bro. Glad to be here.
Yeah, so first of all, I just want us to start off by you introducing yourself to the people, for those who aren't familiar with your face or those who don't know you yet,
So as you mentioned, my name is Marcellino Vallihu. I'm a trader from Durban, born and raised in Durban, 27 years old. Been trading from 2019, properly, like full time. Finished school at New Forest High School. Got a degree at UKZN, and started pushing from there.
Yeah, that's quite interesting. So you're based in Durban and you've been trading since 2019 full time. So, how did you get introduced to Forex? Where did that come from? Because most people, don't just know about Forex unless they find out through social media.
So at that time, I came across Forex on social media, based on what people post, and you can make so much of money, and it was just all over social media at that time. But I always thought it was too difficult for me to understand. I always thought that, listen, in order for you to understand Forex, you need to be good at math and all of that nonsense. But I came across it through social media, and then I just decided to try it out based on people's signals and stuff like that. So that's how I got involved in it.
Okay, that's interesting. So you learned through social media. When was that? Which year was it?
That was 2018 that I first found out about it. So I was working, and I had my own company at that time. I was in logistics. So I was working for Discovery. I was selling insurance, and then I also had a company where I had a logistics company where I was running trucks. So I've always been wanting to push, and make money. And then I saw this Forex thing blow up, and I was like, I need to try and get involved in that as well. And initially it was just supposed to be like, just a part-time thing, just on the side to get more income coming in. But that's how it started, bro.
That's crazy, because most of investing books tell us, if you want money, go towards logistics. That's where the big money is. So it's crazy how you went from logistics to Forex. Why, though?
So what happened was, logistics was good. It was profitable and stuff, but it's just for the amount of time I was putting in there, and the amount of money I was seeing, it was not worth that amount of time. So when I started being profitable at Forex, I saw that, listen, this is really fruitful. The time I was spending on my other businesses and my other stuff that I was doing at that time wasn't worth the time, the profit that I was getting out of it. So that's what I said. Well, that's when I decided that, no, I just want to focus on Forex, and I just sold up everything I had.
All
at
right.
that time.
Okay, so now you're in Forex, and like, how do you gather information? Did you have mentorship along the way? How did you structure the whole Forex thing so that it can work for you? Because most of the time when we start, you get information from all over the place, and it gets hard.
Yeah. So initially when I started off like anyone else. I wanted to go in signals based on like profits I saw on social media and stuff. So I tried a lot of people. But it's more than just that. Risk management is a big factor. So there's a whole bunch of things that play a part in Forex, right? You can't just take signals and just expect to the same results. So I dabbled in that. And then when I saw the potential from that, because there was days where you can make ridiculous amount of money, right? And there's days where you also lose. And the losses is not because someone's necessarily sending a bad signal. It's just because maybe your account blew when there was a bit of a drawdown. But eventually the price did come into profit. It did take profit. So that's when I knew that, listen, that's when I saw that it can be profitable, it can work, but I need to learn more about it. I then purchased QBank's course, Wall Street Academy, and AstroFX, their course. In fact, first I purchased AstroFX, and then did their course, and then I purchased, a few months later, I purchased QBank's Wall Street Academy as well. I think that's when I put everything together and started being really, really fruitful and consistent.
Yeah. Wow, that's actually quite crazy because you went straight to the big guys. I mean, you didn't waste your time. And you're actually the first person I hear mentioning that they've been mentored by Q and surely, that's the name. So how was that process like? How long did it take you to understand the basics and actually become consistent?
I wouldn't say I was mentored by them, right? Because I just purchased their course. So their course is an online course with these videos, and you learn it like that. That's what I did with them. But I learned the basics there. So there was a lot of, after you understand the basics, you still have to go sit down and plot stuff on your own. So it took me a while after that. It took me like, I think about 4 or 5 months of consistently working. And trying to perfect it. But the information there is all I needed to, come out on the right side. So that was good investment.
Right. So, like, what kind of strategies were they teaching? Was it specific? Were you using moving averages, indicators? What was it like?
So I learned a whole bunch of things from them, right? So I learned the FUB, I learned moving averages, I learned like basically support and resistance. And people think, and the problem is with a lot of traders, or let me just say the students that I've come across, is it's one thing to understand a concept, or one thing to understand what support and resistance is, or what a trend line is. But it's another thing to use it correctly. You know what I mean? And that's the issue. So that's what took time for me to practice. So there's a whole bunch of confluences that I learned, and I just puzzled it together until something made sense to me. So now I need 5 confluences before I take a trade. So I need 5 things that tell me that this is going to happen at this place. And even with that, you can still get it incorrect, but your probability of getting it right is much higher. Right? So in the long run, the numbers play out based on the probability. Nothing is guaranteed. I use confluence trading. All
right. So, like, during your learning stages, like, what were some of the challenges you had? Because I know sometimes being a trader and starting off can get lonely. So, like, what were some of the challenges?
You can put in all the work, and you will not see profits immediately, like crazy profits immediately. And I think what happens is we feel under pressure by other traders, and you feel that if this person can have this, why can't I have this? When is it going to be my turn? And I think what happens in that case, you tend to put pressure on yourself, and you decide to trade ridiculously with, you're not managing your risk and stuff like that. And I think that's when now, if you're not managing your risk, it starts to implement you and your account balance and stuff like that. So I think risk management for me was the biggest problem that I faced at first. It was risk management and confidence in myself initially when I first started. I would always doubt myself, and But I think as you keep on pushing and keep on grinding, you start to figure out that no, man, it's not hard. It's just a game of probability. You go in when you see a trade. If it hits your stop loss, it hits your stop loss. You on to the next one. If it hits take profit, it's take profit. And you just move on like that, man. So yeah, risk management was definitely
So
exactly.
all right. So I know when you're a trader, obviously when you start small, right? So I heard you mentioning accounts. What were your accounts looking like back then? What were you funding? How much were you funding? You know, because capital is also another big challenge for many traders.
So as soon as like I started gaining confidence and stuff, I was funding 10,000, 20,000 at a time.
Right.
I was finding thing and I would flip it really quick. But I think that was the problem, is because today I'll take a 20,000 and I'll make it 40,000. And then tomorrow I want to take 40,000 and I want to double it to 80,000. But then I'd lose that trade, you know? So it was like a back and forth thing like that, where I'm just trying to keep on, doubling. And as I'm making profit, I want to put the whole profit in and double that. But you don't know when your next loss is going to be. So you'll grow. And the one loss that I'll take, I'd lose a lot. And then I have to go back to the drawing boards. And what was happening then I was questioning my strategy and, a whole bunch of psychology that goes into it. So I'm glad that that's over now. That part is over. But that was the most part for me, definitely.
Oh yeah, so since that part was over, at which point did you start seeing consistency, and how long did that take for you? Because our journeys are different.
Yeah. So like as I mentioned, I purchased Astro in 2019. Towards the end of 2019, I purchased Astro. And I think it was, like I say, around 2020, beginning of 2020, that I started seeing consistency and that patch was over. There is times that you can get sucked in with emotions and stuff. And it even happens to me up till now. You just get sucked in based on emotions. Like, no, man, this has to go. Why? No, I know it's going to happen. But I just try to keep myself occupied during those times so I don't become that person again or, fall into the trap. So around 2020, I think was, around beginning of 2020 is when, I understood things perfectly fine. And things started being very consistent at that point.
Yeah. That means you must be a disciplined person because, with trading, when you're not disciplined, it will take time for you to learn and actually be consistent. So what you need to gain quick is your discipline, which I'm sure is something you have to get great. Yeah.
Definitely. Discipline and consistency, man. That's the most important stuff. Discipline and consistency. It will definitely change your trading for any trader out there.
Yeah.
Those are the main two you need to focus on.
Yeah. So another thing I want to raise up is the FTMO stuff, because when I was going through your page, I think you're the only trader in South Africa that I know or follow that's into FTMO, which is a unique skill to have, or it's like really good to accomplish FTMO, which many traders don't pass, So like where did your journey with FTMO start?
So I found out about FTMO, I think it was last year. I started trading FTMO from last year. And I found them through a YouTube ad, I think it was. And I heard about it, like, man, can't do. And then it came up a few times. I'm like, let me just check this out. And then I went to their page, I checked it out. And the opportunity that they give, man, it's crazy. I mean, if you have the skill, you can trade their funds, and take out. When I started, it was 70% of what you make per month. Now it's gone up to 80. So I think that there is a great platform, and it's just basically a prop firm that funds traders who can trade. And if you do pass the challenge, you get the funds, and then you get a profit split at the end of the month. So that leaves it less risk on the trader in the sense that whatever money you're taking out from the market, you don't have to necessarily put it back in. You know what I mean? And I think that's what happens a lot of the time is we make a lot of money, or even what happened to me in the prior, I'd make a lot of money and I'll put it back in. And based on emotions and, things like that, you tend to lose that money. So it's just an up and down game. Whereas with FTMO, you trade in their funds. Whatever you're taking out is for you, right? And they have like objectives and they have rules. So that forces you to be disciplined, because if you don't follow that, your won't get funded, basically, number one. And if you break it off your funded, they'll kick you out. So that forces you to be, you're forced to be disciplined, because it's not something that, no, if it's fine, I'll catch up tomorrow. No, if you don't listen to, or if you don't do what is required of you, you are not funded anymore. So I think that helped with discipline as well a lot.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. I feel like there are many opportunities that people should take, and I feel like through this interview, you'll be shedding light on the possibilities, because I saw you have 2 certificates.
I passed. Yeah, I passed quite a few of those. Passed quite a few of those challenges. I first failed the $25,000 account. The reason being, I went in there with just my skill. But FTMO is a very different ballgame compared to trading on our local broker accounts, because you need to know exactly how much you're risking on each trade before you take a trade, right? If your lot size is incorrect and your drawdown is more than what it's supposed to be, your account is blown. So at first, when I went in understanding the skill of how to trade, but the nitty-gritty I didn't understand. So I didn't even take a trial. I just went straight, bought an account, told that, no, listen, I've got this. And I failed. Then I realized, went back to the drawing board, started properly, took the 50K account, passed that, took the 100K account, passed that, took another 25 account and passed that. And then I violated one of the rules on my 50K account. My 50K account. So that got taken away from me. So I still got that 100K.
All right. So what advice would you give for someone who wants to get into FTMO? Are your students part of the whole FTMO process with you? Because I saw you have a few groups where you help.
Yes, I have 3 groups. I have just a normal signal group where I just give signals. I then have mentorship, where it's one-on-one mentorship, where I teach you everything I know over 7 lessons. Right. So as I said, I've got 5 different confluences that I use. So every lesson we go over a confluence, and the 6 and 7 lesson is where we put everything together. So that's mentorship, that's one-on-one, done via Zoom, right? And then the FTMO group is where it's a signal group for traders that want to get funded. So where we do chart analysis of what we're expecting for the week. And if I send a signal, I give you the lot size that you need to use on your account size so that you don't violate the rules for FTMO. So that's doing very well. There's a lot of traders getting funded, and that's proper. It's doing very, very well. My most memorable trade was, I think, the biggest loss that I took with my own money. It was 140,000, and it happened last year, in fact. I'm convincing myself to afford. So I pumped in another like 40K into my account, just to stand that drawdown. And GJ never came back. It never came back.
Damn, bro. Yo, that's crazy.
But it was a valuable lesson for me, because it shows that no matter how many confluences you have, right, the market does whatever it wants to do. Right? There's nothing we can do to control that.